Insider. We are back December. I believe we're in week 7 now of the National Coach of the Week brought to us by JUCOrecruiting.com. We're excited to partner with them to highlight the JUCO National Team of the Week. And this week we go to Alabama. I don't know if people knew they played JUCO basketball in Alabama, but we're about to find out more about that. And we're excited about that. This particular guest, man, has done so much in the business, has done so much in his career at the junior college level. One of my mentors, my big brother, he was literally in my wedding, a big deal to me, and has won a lot of championships, has helped a lot of players move on, and has won a lot of games. So excited to bring in not the shoes, but the Chuck Taylor in the building for our interview today with Coastal Alabama North. What up, King?
What's going on? What's going on? Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, excited to do it, man. Do it like we always do it. The first time on the platform
Yeah.
for the family. Welcome. All Access Network. We're excited to have you. So undefeated week highlighted by the win against top 12, 11, 12, depending on which poll you talk about. Daytona State, well-respected program, well-known program. And Coastal Alabama North, Coach, let's keep it a buck. Until this week, there's a lot of people that didn't even know that program existed. So talk a little bit about what this win has meant to the program. And then after that, talk about, just how you were able to get it done.
Well, first and foremost, anytime that you're building a program and you need something to stand on, and it's just always been in my history that I never duck games. I always wanted to play against the best, because I think to be the best you have to play the best. And obviously just having an opportunity to play a team like Daytona State, who's a very good basketball team, and have an opportunity to play them and compete at that level, it really does a lot for your program. It's a signature win. I think it helps you in recruiting. I think it helps stabilize your culture and the direction that you're trying to build it. And then I think it really gives you name recognition, because we went to some jamborees this summer, and we beat some good teams this summer. And I heard a couple players say, "Where are you guys from again?" Never heard of you guys. Where are you from? So that part of it is good, but it's nothing like building something from the ground up, brick by brick.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And I think all programs, like you talked about, look for that signature win that just helps them to get the recognition outside of the people that know that they're good. You know what I mean? It's one thing for your community to know, but it's a totally different thing to be the national team of the week, to get a top 15 win. And it's just validation for the things that you guys are doing behind the scenes. So how did this win come about? Obviously, a really good program. You have some good players. We'll talk about your players specifically as we go on, and you can mention some of them if you want, but just tell us how that actual game came about. And you played Chipola early in the year to start the year,
right?
And played really competitively in that. I believe we're either winning at halftime or down just a little bit.
We were up 8 at half.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And so close game, ended up losing by 8. So you knew you had it in you, and you had some guys out in that one, some important key starters and key players. And we know how good that program is. So to be able to put it together and actually complete it, I know they had to do a lot for the buy-in. So talk about how you guys were able to get it done and what that did for the buy-in of the people in the program.
Well, honestly, to be honest with you, Coach, I think it all started this summer. We started from scratch. I brought 2 guys back from last year and brought in a whole new, nucleus. And with that being said, I really went out this summer and in the spring and beat the bushes and really worked hard to put this roster together. And so when we put this roster together and we played in a couple JUCO events in the summer and we played in some events in the fall, I was able to get to the event coordinators and make sure I said, hey, we don't want to, we need to play good people. I said it's really important for our guys to compete against good people so they can understand where we're trying to get to and the work that it takes to get there. And we were able to do that. And I was putting my schedule together. And I actually, honestly, I didn't even have a game slot. And Coach called me. Coach Joey called, and they're playing. Obviously, they're playing Tallahassee on Monday, and he said, "Hey, I don't want to come up there and just play one game. Would you, I'm looking for a game. Do you know anybody in the area?" And I said, "Hey, what about us?" And he's like, "Well, hey, I thought you were full." I said, "Well, let's look at some dates and see what you're talking about." And he threw a date out, and I accepted the date, and we were supposed to play a prep school in January, and unfortunately, I had to call that guy and drop the game. But I think if I had to do it all over again, I would do it without a shadow of a doubt. So I just think that part of it has really helped us as far as our schedule. As far as shout out to all the event coordinators that I played in, that they did a good job of putting us against quality opponents. So I appreciate those guys for helping us, because they help get us to where we are right now.
We've done this for a while now. You've done this for a while. I was a part of, when you first got hired, a little overlap. People don't know this. Go back in the day. Richland Thunder Ducks, the T-Ducks.
First head job.
Yeah, your first head job. I was an assistant there prior. You recruited and signed our All-American to the Division I you were at the time. Division III JUCO, no scholarships, kind of get it out the mud, Pale Granite, if you will, in Dallas. Really competitive. We went as far as number 3 in the nation, a program that has a long history of winning. And you take the job, my first in-home visit I get to do with you. So I saw you win championships there. You leave there, go back Division I, eventually circle back around, get the Paris job. You win multiple championships there. You go to Hutch. So there's some things there that when you took that job, similarly enough, it didn't have the history of a national championship like Paris. It didn't have the history of national tournament appearances and top 3 finishes like Richland. But there's something you saw there that allowed you to do that, along with balancing your family at this point in your life, being closer. So talk about what attracted you to coastal Alabama North when, like you said, you're going to these events and people don't even know who you guys are.
Right. Well, first, let me shout out Clark Burke. Clark Burke gave me my first opportunity as a head coach, and I will forever be indebted to him, because there's a lot of young coaches out there that just need an opportunity. And Clark gave me that opportunity, and it was a tremendous opportunity, and obviously you was there for the beginning stages of it. You had an opportunity to sit in on a home visit with me, and I think that was probably your first in-home visit that you ever did. And
as a coach, for sure.
Yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, you went to an opposition maybe a week or two later, and you took all my secrets with you.
I did. I took all the secret sauce and was like, "Yo, I saw this. I liked it. We doing it." And they weren't doing it at the time. So,
no, they was not. So that was the other thing. What makes you unique from other institutions? So I think you saw that right out the gate. All right, this is different.
Yep.
This is totally different. This ain't what they're doing. So,
right.
That part of it. But, just to get back, hey, just again, I'll forever be indebted to Clark. He gave me my first opportunity as a head coach, and that, people don't understand. It's hard to get a head job at any level, let alone college, but any level. So, Clark, hey, if you have an opportunity to see this, I just want to make sure hey, man, I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Love you and your family. You guys were great, tremendous to me, very supportive. And I hope I made you proud during my short stint there. So in saying that, yes, Coastal didn't have the prestige that, we were number 2 in the nation that year. I got to Paris, and Paris had won a national championship. So I know what winning looked like.
Yep.
But now I have to take what my experience and what I know what winning looked like and take it to a program that had some success, but they never had national success.
Right.
So success and national success are two different type of successes.
No question.
So, just getting them to understand that part of it. Now, I will say this: my president, Dr. Pouncey, my athletic director, Daniel Head, and my campus director, Miss Kaylette, they're very supportive. They always ask, "Hey, whatever you need, we got you. No problem. You're our guy." And it's been that way from day one. And I'm very appreciative of that. So I looked around and I was like, man, I'm back home. I had my weekends. I was watching college football every weekend and getting fat and eating pizza and wings every Saturday. Man, I ate pizzas and wings every Saturday watching Michigan football every week. And I'm like, man, do I really want to get that up? I wanted, I could go see my mom whenever I wanted to. I can go see my girls. And, but something just was tugging me and saying, hey, this is a tremendous opportunity. This is an opportunity to build something that you hadn't had. Because in my prior head coaching stints, those programs were established. And when I mean by established, they had championship pedigree. Both had won national championships. Both had been to the national tournament. So when I looked at this opportunity, I said, well, man, if I'm able to have the support that I need, I think that we could have an opportunity to win a state title and have an opportunity to go to the national tournament. And that was my purpose and my goal behind accepting this position. So again, it's just, we're halfway there. Now there's going to be a lot of trials and tribulations in the second half of the season. There's going to be some successes. There's going to be some adversity. But I look forward to it because that's what coaching is, understanding how to get through those tough times where those winning times really shine and you can enjoy them. And, I've won games before. I mean, Coach, you know me, I've had an opportunity. I beat a number 2 team in the country before. I beat a number 5. So that part of it, but just to see those kids and how they enjoyed it. And I enjoy it much more now because I ain't trying to prove myself because I'm not looking to, for anything higher. I'm looking for how do I get this institution national?
Right. 100%. And right on par. Get a big national win, national team of the week, which is a huge recognition by, just an awesome junior college platform and organization in JUCO recruiting. So speaking of recruiting, let's talk about your roster and what makes them who they are, because you had to go out and get some of those dudes in order to be able to win a game like that. And I know last year, year one, for those that don't know, you got the job so late in the process, was literally unplugged from college basketball, working on campus at that campus, doing a advising job. And then next thing you know, they
support services,
come over there and say, hey, we want you to be our coach. And I'm sure there was some decision making in that. And so I guess talk about that decision to come back to college basketball when you weren't even looking for it, how you approach it now, and then we'll get after that into your roster and some of the recruitable guys on the roster.
Well, I think, obviously when I got there, and I was in student support, I made sure that I had an opportunity to visit with the sitting head coach, which was William Brown, Coach William Brown. And I just wanted to make sure you understand, hey, man, anything I can do to help you, assist you and your players from our program. And I shared with him some things that we can do to assist them. And there were some things we could do, assist them financially. There's some things we could assist them with academically. So I wanted to make sure he and Coach Mandy Franklin, who's our women's coach currently, I wanted to make sure that they knew that what services were available to their student athletes. And I wanted to make sure anything that I could do to assist on my part, I was more than willing to do, but I was totally hands off. I didn't go to practices. I stayed away, because I just wanted to make sure, I didn't want nobody to feel no type of way, because that wasn't my goal. My goal when I got there, I was going home every weekend to watch football. That was it. I turned into a football fan, So, and I got an opportunity to but once you meet the players and you meet the players and you got an opportunity to spend some time with them. And I was going through degree plans and financial aid and those things at that time. You get to know them, and then you get to know their parents, because you say, hey, well, let me call my mom, talk about this, or let me call my dad. So it was just that. And I didn't really even talk about that I was a coach. And Coach Brown happened to come over one day, and he was like, you guys don't even know who this guy is, do you? And I'm like, dude, no, don't do that. Don't say that. And but me and Coach Brown has a great relationship, and he was a big part of me getting this opportunity. So, I'm forever indebted to him as well. He was a big part of me getting this opportunity.
Yeah, and then we'll dive in, Coach. Tell us about the players on the team. Obviously, we'll talk a little bit more about the culture and how you get players to come there, and what makes Coastal a place to be for athletes. But talk about the players on this team, because you don't get the wins without the players that you have. And for context, last year you got the job so late, you almost just had to take what you had and make the most of it. There's no knock to who was there previously, but it wasn't necessarily your recruits and the level you were used to doing that. So
absolutely,
now you were able to bring those kind of guys in.
And the funny thing about that is, on day one, when I got introduced to the players, I made sure that they understood, like, hey, I know most people are going to say that you're not my recruits, you're not this, you're not that. I said, yes, you are. And the reason why you are is because no matter what we do, it's going on my record. Right. So we attached at the hip, whether we want to be or not.
Together.
And what's crazy is I still talk to a lot of those young men that I had a year ago.
Yep.
And it was we wasn't as successful as far as wins and losses, but if you talk to any coach in the league, they'll tell you they probably didn't want to play us late in the year because we were playing our best ball, and they were grimy, they were tough, and we defended people.
They were giving themselves a chance, to win games.
That's it. That's it. And so that part of it was good. And so I had 4 or 5 of them reached out to me today, just say, hey, coach, you guys are doing a great job. Keep it up. And that means a lot to me, because they didn't have an opportunity to experience that, but just them reaching back out.
And they laid the foundation too, though.
Exactly.
I think we see, like, now, and obviously we're close to some of these places because Texas is home for us and part-time home for you. But I mean, Houston, everybody sees Kelvin Sampson #1 in the country, but they laid a foundation. That's not the only place, but just for an example, those guys that were a part of those early years are the reason why they're able to do what they're doing now.
Exactly.
No different than any place that turns around, and puts a program on a national platform, and that's what you've done now with your program. So those first year guys laid a foundation that was incredibly important. Talk about the players specifically that's on the team now.
Well, obviously, the one thing that I love about this particular team is, I've had some really good teams in the past, but I think this one might be the deepest team I've ever had. I can go probably 12 deep. That's why we've had guys out, and the ship just kept going because we had other guys that could step right in and play. And obviously, it all starts with with our sophomores. We have a bunch of sophomores. Greg Kennedy, Bethune-Cookman's signee, just got cleared to play, a week ago, this past weekend against that was his first game against Daytona. Mikey West, Bethune-Cookman transfer, was out with a severe sprained ankle. So, we didn't even have our starting point guard, ultra talented true freshman Seth Jones out of Houston, Texas, is having a phenomenal year. I mean, a phenomenal year. And it's guys better get on. They better get on the Seth Jones train. He is going to be something. He is a special talent. Obviously, we got Carl Parker is a sophomore, 6'8" sophomore. People look at him. When we got him, he was 317 pounds. He's down to 278 right now. So, just shows how much he's dedicated himself to get the weight off. He's done a good job there. Chris Smith from Delaware, transfer from Delaware State, another 6'8", 240-pound kid. Kavon Estrich from Atlanta, Georgia, 6'5", stretch three-man, really good defender, good athlete. Lorenzo Caldwell from Slidell, Louisiana, 6'6", really athletic, can play, can guard 1 through 4, can stretch it to 3. So Nate Braden from Shreveport, Louisiana. So John Hart from Seattle, Washington. So I had to really go out and span the globe to get some guys to really come in and really help us. Jaquan Pack, 6'3", combo guard from Toledo, Ohio, who's having a great sophomore season. So got a really fun group. Really enjoy being around them. I mean, obviously, the culture is different in regards to just post-pandemic type kids that I like to call. Attention spans a little different, but they're getting better day by day. So terrific group, really terrific group. I'm just trying to make sure I'm not leaving out anybody that I can think of. Michael Willis from Slidell, Louisiana. Got Pack, yeah, to walk the quant. So just a really good group of kids. All of them did well academically. We didn't lose anyone to academics, so we're healthy. Once we get Mikey back, we're healthy, and we're really looking forward to making that push the second part of the year.
Yeah, and Alabama JUCO people don't know necessarily a lot about, along with your program. So if you had to highlight, what is Alabama JUCO like for those that don't know, because you've been in Texas and you've recruited all over the country. So what is that? What would you want people to know about Alabama JUCO? And then tell us a little bit about that campus, specifically yours and your program that makes it attractive and people want to be a part of the new momentum that's happening.
Well, I think first and foremost, just to talk to people about Alabama Junior College is, my last year at Sam Houston State, my last signee was Player of the Year in the Alabama Junior College League, DeMarcus Lampley, who went on and was first team all league at Sam Houston State. So, it's a highly underrated, undervalued basketball league. There's some really good players in the state. There's some really good teams in the state, and obviously, just to name a few, there's really good players that, Bishop State has done a good job. Wallace State Hansville has done a good job. Obviously, Shelton State was the class of the league. Southern Union has really good players. Snead State has really good players. Gaston State has some talent. Marion Military Institute, Lawson State has some talent. So Coastal South, who is with us as well. So they're it's a very undervalued league with some really good players. But Brian, I don't have to tell you, as a recruiter, obviously, I felt like when you were at Richland and I had an opportunity to come in and recruit Scooby Johnson could have played at a lot of Division I schools. But when people don't do their homework and they don't work, and it's like, dude, why isn't there more people on this guy? This is crazy. One thing that I learned to do is I learned to trust my eyes. And if I think a guy can play, I think he can play. Yep. I've seen him enough, and I know that he can play. So I think the uniqueness of our campus is, one, just coming to our campus, one, we call it the B&B, books and ball. That's what you're coming here for. You're coming here to get bigger, stronger, faster, and become and get better in areas that you need to improve on. Secondly, we're going to play a national schedule. You know, we're gonna play the Chipola's of the world. We're gonna play Pensacola States. We're gonna play Daytona State. We're gonna play Eastern Florida. You know, we're gonna play those type of guys because, you know, if you want to have an opportunity to go on and move on and play at after you're done here, you got to be able to compete against those type of guys, because that's what the recruiters are they're going to want to see how you compete against those guys. So, you know, I sell like, hey, you know, the young people say they want to smoke. Well, you come to coastal Alabama North, you're going to get the smoke because Chipola's going to be waiting on you. Pensacola State's going to be waiting on you. Eastern Florida's going to be waiting on you. Daytona State's going to be waiting on you. That's just, you know, so, you know, I could schedule 6 to 8 prep schools, but that don't help my kids get recruited. That don't help them really understand how to not only go to a school, but stay at a school once they get there, because, you know, we ran from competition. So, you know, that's the other thing. You're going to play a national schedule here. And, you know, I'm fortunate enough that we've had some success. And now we on a platform such as this that gives me an opportunity to tell people about our program, tell people about why you need to come to Coastal Alabama North and what makes it special. Well, what makes it special is, you know, again, books and ball. You know, you're going to have access to the gym. You're going to have access to the weight room. You're going to have the things that you need to be successful in moving forward to the next level.
And not only that, Coach, the ingredients inside the program, the culture, the fabric every day that has a proven track record with the head coach that has done it at Richland in Division III, that had, call it what it is. There's not a lot of Division I players that come out of Division III, JUCO. At your time, there was a lot of JUCO players signing and going Division I. So not a common thing. Not to mention Paris having guys go to all levels of success, not just high major, not just Division II or NAIA, but mid-major, low major, you name it, in whatever roles. And the cool part is a lot of these guys are now coaching, which I keep looking around and seeing our family tree, if you will. So I work for Ross Hodge. Shout out to Ross Hodge, Paris.
And I coached Ross Hodge at Paris. Shout out to Ross Hodge.
You coached him. They coached at North Texas. Bill Ford, who's now the head coach back at Paris, won a national championship, who you work for there. And then you went back as a head coach. So you've seen it on all sides. And then you were a Division I coach, and you signed JUCO All-Americans, and you helped those guys have successes. So you've seen it from all sides to be able to help a young man be able to have success, and equipped him with what does it look like now to go Division I and be successful. What's your thoughts on I always like to ask this. Why do you love junior college? You've been a lot of places. You've had a lot of success. You've helped impact a lot of lives. And we talk about these guys that are now coaching. You know, Javon Austin at Mississippi State. Knock is at
Iowa State.
Yeah. Bilal Badley was your assistant that went to Hutch with you. Had a mission to help you get there and did. And now he has a mission to get Kelvin Sampson to national championship status, #1 in the country. He's done that. You know, we can go on. Corey Barker, who's doing humongous things in the basketball space, and former Mike Randall has just got his first Division I job at Southeastern. So we can go on and on. Derek Taylor with Texas Hoops, Gasso. We can go on and on about the tree. But what do you think? What do you love about junior college? And then secondly, junior college recruiting, there's still a myth that with high school and JUCO that everyone just wants to recruit the portal and no one wants to recruit these other spaces. What do you kind of talk to recruits about what is it to go the route of junior college to get you ready for what you're going to go to Division I? So first, why do you love JUCO? And then the concept of the portal, and how do you kind of address that as far as getting recruited? People think if I go JUCO, I may not get recruited because everyone wants the portal.
Yeah. Well, I think first and foremost, you know, what I love about junior college is I was a junior college product. So I played junior college. So I understand, you know, all the things that they go through. I've been there and done it as a player. So I love that part. But junior college basketball, you know, basically saved my life in regards to, you know, I really didn't know what I wanted to do when I got out of high school. And, my mom sat me down at the table and said, hey, look, this was June the 1st. I'll never forget it. Graduated that 2 days before, like May 30th or something like that. And she sat me down and she said, hey, you gotta make some decisions. And you got till September 1 to figure it out. But, September 1, if you ain't got a job or you ain't going to school, or you got to go. So at that particular time, I had no plans on going to junior college. I didn't know what I was going to do. But after that conversation, I went to junior college, and it was one of the best experiences I've ever had in my life. I still keep up with over half of my team to this day. We still talk a lot. We still interact. We still talk about all the good times that we had in junior college. So junior college, was a product of where I'm at today. What I tell, young men when they come to junior college, or if they're thinking about junior college and all the myths that go with it, there's more qualifiers in junior college than ever before. And a lot of that has directly to do with the transport portal, prep school, and all the different avenues that you can take that you couldn't take 5, 6, 7 years ago. So, that part of it has changed the junior college experience. But at the same token, if you got to come to junior college, you got to have some dog in you, because there's a lot of really, really, really good players in junior college, and kids don't realize how hard these junior college players play and how tough they are until they get here. And then there's a lot of really, really good coaches in junior college as well. So, Bill Foy being one of them. I mean, like, there's a ton of really good junior college coaches there. Shout out to Coach Foy. Gave me my first opportunity in college at Paris Junior College. I was an assistant there. So, we'll be forever indebted to him. Great friend, mentor of mine. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, well said, Coach. Well said. I love it. Say a little bit about this, Coach. So we're in this business, and we'll come back to JUCO and kind of close it up. But family balance, right? You've had to do some sacrifices for your career. Your girls are extremely successful in their academic path and in their character and all of that. And you made a decision that many have a hard time to make or don't make, but they may wrestle with it. And you decided to step away from college Division One and a great program that you had a lot to do with, recruiting players like you mentioned, and Zach Nuttall, who's also a tremendous player, was player of the year in Southland at the time. And you step away from coaching at Sam Houston State to put your family as a priority and step away. You kind of talked a little bit about it, but what went into that decision? And then now that you're back, does it feel like it's confirmation that you personally made the right decision to step away, and then God kind of calls you back in this position?
Well, first, want to give shout out to Jason Hooten, who gave me an opportunity at Sam Houston State, because I don't take for granted when people give you opportunities, because they could hire anybody in the world that they want, and they take an opportunity.
And there's, for context on that, there's more people who want the jobs than there are jobs.
Exactly. Absolutely. So, just Jason giving me an opportunity, and us having an opportunity to win a championship together. I was with him, and we won. He won his first championship, and I was a part of that program. And Jason's a family man, and he, we would always talk about, things as far as what's going on in our families. But, he was very grateful for what we had done and the decision that was made at that time for me to step away. And, that's a part of the business. It wasn't, kids had grown up, and it was that time. It's just time. I'd done it. So, the difference now is, I come home every day.
Yeah.
I ain't flying home, leaving.
And at that time, you were long distance.
Flying home, leaving, flying home, leaving, flying home. So it's a different priority for me, and I'm at a different stage in my life where, could I go back Division One and do well? Absolutely. There's no doubt about it. I mean, I think that there's no doubt that I could do it, but I'm in a great space with great people who supports me, and at the same token, I can teach them some things in regards to how national programs do things.
Yep.
And when I say national programs, I'm talking about, you know, the Indian Hills and Hank Polona. I'm talking about Donnie Tyndall at Chipola. I'm talking about Steve DeMayo and we can go on. But and you know, it's really important that it's one thing to just, you know, be okay with winning some games, but if you want to be on a national level, there's some other things that go into it. And so, you know, just having the opportunity to build this thing from the ground up it's been a beautiful thing because, you know, I'll tell you, I treat it like it's my Duke.
Yep.
You know, that's just the reality of it. To me, it's Duke. So people, you know, my players laugh at me all the time because I'm always picking up things. I'm always sweeping the floor. I come in there. I don't want nothing on the floor in the locker room. Like that's my Duke. And that's how I'm going to treat it. Right. And if I don't treat it that way, why should they treat it that way?
Right. And how do you attract the next Zion Williamson, Grant Hill, whoever played, or for Michigan fans, I'm gonna go there. Chris Webber, Jalen Rose, you know what I mean? We got to do that for Michigan, but cool. So we always like to end with a funny story. You have a lot of comedy in your world. People don't always know that, but you got to give us one. And it probably, we talked about a little bit before we started, but probably revolves around that first year when I got a chance to beat you and you were head coach. And some funny stories around that.
Well, before we dive into that, just some people I just want to thank. And, you know, I thanked a few people along the way, but obviously Ronnie Arrow gave me my first Division I job. You know, Ronnie Arrow lives literally 3 blocks from me. Nice. So, you know, he's a big mentor. I have an opportunity to go over there and talk shop and sit with him and, you know, really appreciate him. You know, Johnny Jones gave me an opportunity at University of North Texas, and we had an opportunity to win a championship. And, you know, I'll forever be indebted to Johnny. Johnny was a big part of me. LaVelle Moulton at North Carolina Central, you know, learned a lot from him in my short time with him. You know, obviously Pam Anglin, who gave me my second job, which was my dream job at that particular time, which was Paris Junior College. People might not believe that. Because Paris was my dream job because when I took the job, it was at its peak. And, you know, my goal was I can't let it fold on my watch.
No doubt.
That was it. You know, Coach Foy did a great job. Ross did a phenomenal job. Tom Schubert did a phenomenal job. And then here I step in.
And it was 2 championships in 4 years, right? Every other year.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, that was, you know, so I'll always be indebted to Pam Anglin. And then lastly, just all my assistant coaches who've helped me. Like you can't do this by yourself. You got help along the way. And, you know, all my assistant coaches, you know, yourself, Coach Burton, you know, we can go down the line, Corey Barker, Albert Talley, you know, Bilal Batley, BJ Ford, you know, Derek Taylor, you know, just my current assistant, Blake Jackson here with me now is doing a phenomenal job. He's next up and comer. He's really good, young, sharp, energetic. He got it. He got that it. Blake Jackson. Remember the name. You heard it from me first. You know, Jason Ramos, just, you know, we'll talk about Jason Ramos here. Then Wesley Gillum, just, you know, all these people, you know, help me get to, they make Chuck Taylor who Chuck Taylor is. You know, it wouldn't be me without any of them, all them individuals. And I know I talked about Jason Hooten, Chris Mudge, you know, Kyle Campbell, you know, Jimmy Smith, Box.
Let's go, Box. So I know there's a lot of people think, but tell us about Ramos. Tell us that story real quick before we roll.
Real quick. So
I know you gotta go.
yeah, I gotta go. So you know, so I'm at Richland College. I'm the head coach. We're doing a, you know, little summer deal. I'm in my office. We're getting ready to do just a summer workout. I hear all this commotion out in the lot. I'm like, what the heck is going on? I go out there, my assistant, which is Jason Ramos at the time, like he's going off.
It's workout and open gym.
Yeah, it's workout and open gym. So
and for context, it's in Dallas, in the
It's
heart of
in
the
Dallas,
city,
right? In the
North
heart of
Dallas.
Dallas,
It's in Dallas.
right? So I go out there, and I'm like, "What the hell's going on?" So Jason and freaking, he's going off on Deron Williams, and Deron had just got drafted, number 3. He was number 3 pick in the draft, just got drafted. And I'm looking at him, I'm looking at Deron, I'm looking at him, I'm looking at Deron, I'm looking at him, I'm looking at Deron. And, Deron had been coming over, working out with us. So, it was great for us because it helped us with recruiting. It was phenomenal. So I'm like, Coach, what's going on? And he kind of tells me, what's going on. Deron wouldn't stretch with the guys or something. I'm saying to myself,
but it came down to the earring thing. Like, Deron would take out his earrings.
Deron would take out his earrings.
I just happened to be there.
And Jason's like, no, man, if you don't take them out, you can't play. So finally I look at Deron and I go, like, this dude drive my bus. You're gonna be in the league, man. So he looks at me like, what? You invited me over here. So I look at him and I look at Jason. I'll be like, hey, Jason, you need to figure this out, man. You need to really figure this out. And I walk away. And next thing I know, they kissed and made up. And it was
you don't know how they kissed and made up. You just know he was out there hooping and stretching. And you're like, all right, we good.
Shout out to Deron Williams, man.
Yeah, man. Great story. Great times. Man, happy for you, man. Great to see you back in this game. Some people the game is in a better place when they're in it, and you're one of those people. You impact so many lives. All the people you named, you've impacted them even more than you've impacted. They've impacted you. So we appreciate you, King. I call you King for many reasons, but you've been a friend and mentor and brother to me, and excited to see you back doing what you're doing. National Team of the Week. Keep up the great work. This is just the beginning. They'll see more of you.
Yeah, well, we'll see. But last one, Bobby Taylor. That's one of my best closest friends, and he's helped me a lot along the way. Him, Sparky McEwen, one of my closest friends, and he a damn football coach.
Yeah,
you can't make this up. But those guys, and it's been great. It's been a phenomenal run, and it's been fun. It's been a fun year. Things are it's live up in Monroeville, Alabama.
Let's go. We'll keep it live, Coach. Enjoy your holidays. Congratulations again, and we look forward to following from afar. You guys keep doing what you do out there in country Bama that people don't expect there to be. They don't expect there to be hooping like that. So we love to see it, and keep up the great work.
All right. Appreciate it. Thank you.